guys. My name's Anna. I'm the teen librarian at the Farmington Library. Thank you for joining us. Today's take-home craft is glitter bouncy balls. If you registered for the program online on our website, make sure to stop into the library to pick up your craft bag. If you haven't gotten it yet, you can still stop into the library to grab it. Just let us know and we'll hold on to it for you. If you don't have a craft bag or are following us later on, don't worry, you can gather your own supplies very easily. Welcome, and let's get started. In your bag, you have almost everything you need for today's activity. You have clear school glue, powdered borax, make sure you don't eat this, 2 colors of glitter, you can mix them together however you want, a spoon, a bowl, and a plastic bag. The only thing you need to provide for yourself today is hot water. You want it to be warm to hot to the touch, but don't make it so hot that you hurt yourself. You can pour that into your bowl. Next, you're going to pour in all of your borax. It seems like a lot. We are making enough of the solution to make yourself 2 bouncy balls. You're dissolving the borax in the water. It's going to take a while to dissolve in the water. Keep stirring until you don't see anything gritty anymore. You want your water to be hot because that is what's going to dissolve the borax for you. Once your borax is thoroughly mixed into your water, you can start to make the bouncy balls. Like I said, you have enough of your supplies to make 2 bouncy balls, and you have 2 colors of glitter. This means that you can either make 1 giant bouncy ball, 1 bouncy ball with 1 color glitter, a second bouncy ball with the other color of glitter, or you can do 2 smaller bouncy balls that are a mixed color of glitter. I'm going to do a mixed color of glitter for both bouncy balls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour half of the glitter into my borax and water solution. Be careful not to get this on the table because the rest of your family will be finding glitter everywhere for weeks. I used a little bit more than half of the purple. I'm going to stir this in to your water. It looks very pretty. My borax isn't completely dissolved. I got it really close, but it's not 100% dissolved. And that's okay. Next, I'm going to pour in about half of my glue. Stir to gather as much of the glitter as you can. A lot of it will be left over in your water, but a bunch of it will mix into your slime. Now, if you've made slime before, there's a good chance this is going to look very familiar to you. This is basically just a slime that we're mixing together until it becomes a rubbery bouncy ball. If you want more glitter to end up in your finished bouncy ball, another thing you can do is grab a second bowl out of your kitchen cabinet and mix your glitter and glue together before you mix them in with the borax solution. Once you kind of have a lump, it looks kind of like slime, kind of like ooze, you can start using your hands. Now there is a pair of gloves in each of your bags. If you don't want to get this all over your hand, feel free to wear a pair of gloves. I personally don't mind, so I'm just going to start with my hands. You're going to take your ball out of your water. It's not going to really look like a bouncy ball yet. And you're just going to start mushing. And mushing and mixing and rolling. And it's going to coat your hands in a lot of gunk and glitter. And it's not going to look like anything at first. But the more you do it, the more like a bouncy ball it will look. So just keep at it for a while. Little bits might fall off and back into your bowl. That's okay. You don't need those. Now mine ended up being kind of a grayish, purplish, greenish. All the different combinations of glitter are completely different, so yours will end up very different colors from mine. Do you see how it's turning into kind of a ball? I would keep rolling it around in your hands a little bit more from this point, but you're almost ready. It'll end up a bit smooth, not completely smooth. You can do a bounce test. I'm going to move my bowl out of the way. It's pretty bouncy. Now, we tested these, and they will bounce a lot if you really try, but they'll also potentially destroy things. And the harder you bounce it, these are a little bit brittle. So if you bounce it too hard, it will break apart into almost shards of slime and get everywhere. So if you want to test out and see what that looks like, make sure you do it outside. As soon as your bouncy ball is done, you can play with it as much as you want. Store it in a Ziploc bag for safekeeping. That will help keep it from drying out. For our second bouncy ball, I'm going to reuse the same water. There's still a lot of borax in it. A lot of the borax sink down to the bottom, and there's a lot of glitter left in here. So this will work just fine for making a second ball. How this forms is the borax and the glue interact with each other and help stiffen up the glue. So there's plenty of borax in there. I have my container with the rest of my glue in it. I'm going to pour the rest of my glitter straight into the glue so I can show you 2 different ways of doing it. I grab my spoon from the bowl, mix together my glue and my glitter. This is going to be a much more uniform bouncy ball than the last one. Now that they're mixed together, I'm going to pour the whole thing into my bowl that still has borax water in it. I'm going to come through and start stirring it again. The stirring at this stage helps get the borax all in around the glue. Kind of mush it around. Ooh, I like how this one looks a bit better. Like I said, you can do either method for how you mix your bouncy balls, but I personally like it better having mixed it with the glue beforehand. And this will make a little bit of a mess. If you are worried about making a mess, you might want to put down paper towels underneath your project. Your parents might thank you if you do. This one, you can get your hands in there, you can touch the solution. Just make sure you wash your hands because you don't want to eat glitter or borax. Neither one is going to be very good for you. Once it feels more like slime than glue, you can start mushing it around in your hands again. And remember, it's not going to look like much of anything to start with, but the more you mix it, the more like a bouncy ball it's going to look. Already, this looks a whole lot better than the first one. If it's having trouble coming together, feel free to dip it back in your borax water solution. The second one might take a little bit longer to come together than the first one, just because you've used a little bit of the borax from your water already, but it will come together. If it seems too wet, you can try to squeeze it out a bit into the water. And remember, if you don't like the feel of all of the gunk on your hands, feel free to wear a pair of gloves. There's a pair in your bag. You can always experiment and see what else you could add. The glitter is really handy because it gives you fun color without adding extra liquid, which could mess up the ratios and make it a different consistency. But you can try adding different things. Try adding a little bit of paint if you want a little bit of color. Try out different things. Let us know if you try any other variations of this. The ingredients are really simple. It's borax, clear school glue, and water. The glitter is just a fun add-in. We tried it with white school glue. It didn't work as well, but it did work. So here you have it. This one took a lot longer to make. It's still a little bit stickier than the first one was. That's, again, probably because we already used some of the borax from the water. But it's a lot more uniform in color. You can see the glitter a lot better in it. This combination of colors looks really cool up close, but from a distance just kind of looks gray. Does this one bounce? Let's see. It does, just not quite as well as the first one. Woo! Just dropped it in the water. Okay. I'm going to pop it in the Ziploc bag with the first bouncy ball. You can see these are 2 relatively large bouncy balls. If you leave them without touching them, there's a good chance they might ooze out into a kind of flat shape, but the second you start rolling them up, they'll turn into ball shape again. There you go, glitter bouncy balls.